So when I went to Russia, it was kind of last minute, and I was doing a class on a piercing called Daith, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to do a Daith piercing?" And I was like, "We can do that." They're like, "Yeah, you can do it." I was like, "At the hotel?" They were like, "Yeah." I was like,
Really?
"Okay." Like,
Yeah,
let's go. And then same thing in Brazil. We had kind of a 2-story setup there, and we set up one of the lower rooms as like a little makeshift piercing room.
Kind of, yeah.
So they were like, "Do you want to do a Daith piercing for your Daith class?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do that."
Right.
So
But tell me what a Daith is. I don't know what that means.
So the inside of the ear, there's this little
Oh,
part
I see.
there called a Daith piercing.
Oh, okay.
It's credited to a piercer named Eric Dakota.
Okay.
He's actually out here in Santa Cruz piercing. He invented, several different piercings. And it's just my favorite piercing.
Yeah.
Just Eric Dakota came up with the Daith piercing, and he taught my friend Ken Coyote how to do the Daith piercing. Ken, who's the director of the Fakir Musafar Foundation, he taught me how to do Daiths, and he did my Daith piercing, so I just love him.
What makes it more of a tricky thing? You got to go you almost have to go through the cartilage twice, eh?
It's just it's a smaller, tighter spot to get into.
I see, right.
And the angles for it to look how I want it to look. I'm a bit of a snob with the aesthetics on it, just going back to like how Ken taught me how to do it. So just getting the angles and the depth and everything just right, and then it's anatomy specific. Not everybody has the ear shape for it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
One of the bummers with the piercing is it's not new in body piercing that every once in a while something will pop up on the internet like, "Oh, I heard if you go to the acupuncturist and have them mark this in the right spot, this little tragus here, then have your piercer pierce it. It's the weight loss piercing. You push on it, it curbs your appetite." So that popped up years and years ago, fizzed away, no big deal. So I don't know, like 7 years ago, something or other, it was like, oh, the Daith piercing, it cures migraines. So in the piercing world, we hear this, we're like, oh God, like, here we go. Like, here's another one, like it'll blow right over.
Yeah.
And it just blew up in like just little groups on Facebook with people desperate for relief from migraines, being like, well, my sister's cousin got that Daith piercing and she swears it got rid of her migraines.
Yeah.
So there's no science to back it up. Like, power of placebo is strong, but no science behind it. But some people in the piercing world kind of took advantage of it. Like, yes, we offer
I was wondering
the
that.
migraine cure, and I've always been like really, really upfront with clients. It's just a cute looking piercing that takes a long time to heal, doesn't do anything for migraines. So
exactly.
if you want it because you like the look of it, let's do it. But I've had people where they're like, I don't even care about the piercing. I'm just desperate for relief for migraine. Then I would just tell them, like, don't waste your time with the piercing. Like, talk to your doctor. See if like acupuncture is your thing. Like, give that stuff a shot.
Yeah.